and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to talk about why it's so helpful to study music theory when you are learning an instrument like the violin. So in really simple terms, music theory is like the language of music. Just like a spoken language has grammar and structure, music does too, and that's the notation or the printed music. When students really understand the symbols and the notation that they're reading, it can really help the connection to their music and make their playing so much easier. On the violin, this is especially important because we don't have anything to guide us on our fingerboard about where the notes are, and we have a bow that we need to be able to use in lots of different ways, directions, speeds, and all of those instructions are included in musical notation or music theory. So the first thing that it's helpful with on the violin is about where to place your fingers on the fingerboard and how to get that right. So it's so important with music, of course, that we really listen carefully all the time, and that is our main guide when we're playing, is how does it sound? But we also need to have an idea about where we're going to be putting our fingers on the fingerboard. And by creating an imaginary grid on the violin running across the fingerboard, we can start to work out where the notes are and where to place our fingers. By having a really deep understanding of musical notation, what the notes mean on the page and how they relate to each other can help us with understanding physically where to have our hand on the violin fingerboard and how our fingers need to be placed in relation to each other. So when we're reading music, we've got lots of instructions on our page, but when we're actually reading notes, we're looking really at two things, and that is the pitch of the note, whether it's higher or lower, and we've just talked about working out where that needs to be on the fingerboard. And then we're also looking at and reading the rhythm. Now, problems with rhythm that's the pattern of the notes that we read, so that sits above our musical pulse that runs all the time. Problems with rhythm are usually a lack of understanding of what's actually written down. So by being able to identify rhythms separately away from the instrument, perhaps clapping them, really knowing what they mean, it can help us hugely when we come to play them. So we can internalize what they mean, we can perhaps clap clap our rhythms or sing our melodies, and then we can play them on our instrument. And it really makes so much more sense and saves so much more time. So with time saving, by understanding music theory, we're making our practice so much more effective because we can quickly identify and understand what's on the page and really get on with improving our technique on the instrument, learning our pieces and getting on to our musical expression and being able to hear just how well or not we're playing. So self-evaluation is something that we can develop when we really understand music theory. And that deep understanding of what's on the page as well as listening can really help us with expression, being able to play musically. We often have lots of instructions on our page from our composers about how to play music, and it's up to us as musicians to bring that to life. And by knowing what all the instructions mean, we can then quickly move on to making music. By having a really good understanding of music theory and developing a good musical ear, we can really help with confidence in playing. It can give a lot of clarity to how to interpret our music and really give so much confidence in learning, really creating independent learning, not wasting time in lessons by having things explained or having to memorize things, and really creating that independent learner by having both how to play the instrument and understanding what's on the page. One really critical part of being able to read music very well is that it opens up such a huge opportunity for you in being able to play in ensembles. So whilst listening is critical and being able to play by ear is really helpful and a great skill that every musician should develop, being able to read music effectively and quickly means that you can get together with other musicians, and that's particularly the case for string instruments. So much repertoire that you can explore and play with others, and it's such a great way to get to know other musicians, be able to make really beautiful music. Music theory doesn't have to be a really boring and laborious task. It can be really specific to things that you are currently learning. That will then be transferable to other pieces that you play. So there's an instant reward for learning it, and then it's very transferable to other things that you are learning and other instruments, not just the one that you're learning particularly now. It's not about adding more study, it's really about making playing easier, giving clarity and confidence and a deeper connection to your music. So in summary, music theory is such a useful part of learning to play an instrument. It's about making it easier, faster, more enjoyable, and creating confidence and clarity in your musical journey. So I hope you found this video helpful, and please subscribe to my channel.